everyone. It is Mike Levin on Tuesday, March 10th, 2020. And I am on Linux. So Mike Levin on Linux. However, in about 2 months, arriving spring of 2020, will be the Windows 20 H1 upgrade, which includes the Windows subsystem for Linux. So even though I am on Windows right now, in approximately March 2020, you can be too. Be on Linux, on Windows, via WSL2, which is really what you see me running over here. This is Vim. If I save and quit, you'll see I have to quit once more because I have 2 files open. You can see I am actually on a Linux console here, even though through that same terminal window, I can get the old-fashioned CMD, so I can do all that standard dir type stuff and the old-fashioned // command prompt of Windows. Through that same terminal, unified terminal shell, I can bring up PowerShell, Windows PowerShell, yet another interface to Windows. And so Unix itself, or Linux I should say, has been elevated to a full-class citizen. This is running in a real Linux kernel, shall we say, and priority-wise it's running with equal priority to its co-operating system, Windows 10, which is on the same hardware. So it's almost as if Windows is now also Linux as well. Now the interesting and sometimes annoying thing about this is happening 2 months away, and it opens a third and what I believe the best path to Python. So file, new painting. Okay, what this is really about is the 3, and they're all good paths to Python. Now, on Windows, it has been a fairly difficult Python story. The what they call the Python story on Windows has been a mixed bag, not been a good one, has been disjointed. Now it's getting better, and just in time for Linux on Windows, which is arriving in about 2 months, Microsoft has also made this rather significant move of, and I'll open a standard COM window to get an interface that's familiar to most people out there. And it used to be that if Python was not installed on your system, nothing would happen. It would say, wrong, bad command or whatever. But now when you type Python into a COM window, it brings you right here to where you can get Python 3.8, latest version, best version, straight from the Python Software Foundation, directly onto your Windows system, so that when you type Python from a COM window, you have the same latest up-to-date Python 3 installed from the Microsoft Store directly to your system, probably as a python.exe, and that is a great starting point. A lot of people are hailing that as the wonderful unified way to get started on what is still the world's #1 platform. Like it or not, more people are using Windows than any other platform. Mac still comes in at around 10%, and of course, smartphones hardly even count in this discussion. So what people are trying to use Python on is Windows, and Microsoft has recently just dramatically improved the Python story by making it so that when you type Python into a COM window, it opens the Microsoft store and prompts you to start beginning the Python install. In fact, I'll go ahead and do that while I talk about the two other very valid approaches. So the first one, aside from doing it this way, is to go to the Anaconda site. You just go to Anaconda and you go to download, and already you'll see a little bit of the disjointedness that's going on in the Python world. Over here, this install that seems to be the real way to go, the unified Windows approved way to go, is doing the install of 3.8. Now, the other great way to get Python onto your system, onto your Windows system, is Anaconda, which only is up to 3.7. Now, it installs a whole bunch of other amazingly useful things that are hard to get going on your system, and once it's done, you can run Python right directly in your web browser. So that's two ways to install Python and to have a good Python system for different things. This is for people, I guess, students in school who are just starting out and need to have that first positive experience and don't want to go through a large install. This is a much smaller install at 32 megabytes than the Anaconda install, which I won't even start it now, but it's something like 500 megabytes. It's at least 10 times bigger than the normal Python install, but it comes with a bunch of data science. So, file, new painting. Okay. So your first way to get Python on Windows is to just type Python. From COM. 2 is to get it from anaconda.com. And that has the amazingly huge benefit of also giving you Jupyter Notebook /lab. Now the third way, which is what I advocate now, which is how I opened this video, is really to do it through the new Unix command prompt terminal window that you will have on Windows 10 after you do the 20H1 upgrade that is arriving this spring. And additionally, install, okay, so this is done. Doesn't give me any options to like run it, but if I go out of the store and I type Python again, there we have it, 3.82. And there's your hello world. So they're just reproducing the first experience that students and learners around the world will be doing. But I'll exit out of that because what I'm really advocating, and again, I'll show you one more time with the Microsoft Store, is come May, you will be able to go in here and search on Ubuntu like I showed you, and you'll be able to get Ubuntu 18.04, but you'll also be able to search on Terminal and get the Microsoft Windows Terminal. It's in preview mode now, but I'm fairly certain by the time, downloading. I guess it's getting an update. It already was installed. Well, let's see if I get anything different. I'll let this finish out. Error. Okay, probably because it's already installed. But once you have that installed, you then have the Unified Windows Terminal, which I have coming up under Ubuntu here. But at that point, the preferred way to get Python is to get Python under Linux so that all your paths are correct, so that you can use forward slashes and that you stay compatible with the world and cloud infrastructure, and get the C:\backslashes out of your life, which are not going to be out of your life even if you go with the COM solution and you get Python here. Everything under Python here is going to have that C:\backslash problem and not really be the Python that is seamlessly compatible with the world, which you will have here. And you'll see I have Python 8 here as well too, just like Microsoft tries to give you. But the difference being I got it through apt-get install. I guess technically it's sudo apt-get install Python 3.8. It's not as easy as just typing Python from the COM window and being bumped over to the Microsoft store. But if you do this, you will be compatible with the entire world and start using all those Linux type tricks like the way I do here, dropping myself into a virtual env of Python 3.8 so I can keep all my requirements sort of localized into all these directories. I'll do this sudo apt-get install Python 3 so that you can see the command starting to get kicked off, but you'll see it's not going to go through the upgrade because I'm already on the latest. So out of curiosity, and the last thing I'll do in this video is notice the versions. 8.3.0 came out of the Ubuntu directory. Now here on a COM window, it's actually 3.8.2. It's a little bit ahead. It's the very latest release. So you can see Microsoft is doing an enormous push on multiple fronts in order to get you up and running with Python, from making it easy to install the very latest, the strongest Python story that Microsoft has to tell. Just open a COM window, type Python, it gets installed, you have the latest, and everyone's running the latest, greatest, and that is indeed a great story. However, if you want the data science stuff, you want to do it through the Anaconda site. Underline, not cross out. And if you want, especially for Jupyter Notebook, and if you want to have the kind of Python that most people have in the world that will make you most capable to do things on servers and automation, you actually want to do it under WSL2 with the, I'll call it apt-get. This is how a lot of people are exposed to it. It's really the Debian repository package management system. You'll also see this called Debian DPKG, I think, Debian package management system. But I'm going to undo that because I'm a little less certain about that. Everyone uses apt-get to do this sort of stuff. So that is definitely what I'm advocating. I think even though the story of Python has on Windows has become really, really strong because you can do it from a COM window through the Microsoft Store. And you can also do it through the data science people And I actually do recommend doing it all 3 ways, but where you focus your time is going to be quite important, because it's where you start to develop your muscle memory. So I would always recommend here on standard, DARD, standard Linux. And this is the strongest Python story right now on Windows. So I would highly advocate waiting until May, approximately May, or getting yourself on the Windows Insider track right now. This all becomes available with Windows 20H. I think it's 20H1 update. In approximately May 2020. Ligatures. Okay, thanks for joining me. Hope to see you again soon. And don't forget to subscribe.